Okay, so hopefully you've given this a try. This is a little bit of review. When I'm going to graph this one, I'm going to start out by thinking about sine. And sine starts on the midline. And because of the negative a value, that means that we're going to have a vertical reflection. So instead of starting on the midline and going up, it's going to start on the midline and go down. So I always like to start by just drawing myself a little sketch of the shape of this graph so I don't forget. And then we can fill out our key features. Our amplitude, because there's a vertical stretch of 2, our amplitude is 2. Remember that amplitude is that distance between the midline and the max, or the midline and the min. So it should never be negative. Okay, the a value is negative, but the amplitude is just positive. The period, because there's no b value, there's no change to our period of 2 pi. Our domain, we could plug in any x value, so we have negative infinity to infinity. And our range, because our midline is at 0, right, there's no shift up or down. If we have an amplitude of 2, we're going to go up to 2 and down to negative 2. So our range is going to go from negative 2 to 2. So let's go ahead and graph this. We need to make sure we draw in a y-axis. Okay, so here's my y-axis. I know I have a period of 2 pi, so I'm going to go from 0 to 2 pi. And I'm going to make sure that I count off in fourths. So that would be, let's see, 2 pi over 4, right? Think about that. That's pi over 2. So we're going to count off pi over 2, 2 pi over 2, which reduces to pi, 3 pi over 2, and 4 pi over 2, which reduces to 2 pi. So there are my intervals. And now I'm going to take this shape that I drew over here, and I'm going to apply it, but I need to make sure I put in a y-axis. So we're going to go up to 2, down to negative 2. So I'm going to start on the midline at 0, 0, 0. I'm going to go down to the minimum, back to the midline, up to the maximum, back to the midline. And I'm going to draw in my shape as best as I can with my arrows. And that's my graph.